Hi, good evening, everyone. Kendall Stokes coming at you with another video for the Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem YouTube channel. It is Friday, February 17th. I am at home almost by myself. My daughter is in bed. Everybody else is gone, so it's really just me. But I thought I would do what everybody else has been doing and talk about the Record Store Day list that came out yesterday. Had some time today and last night to really finally look at it and kind of spend some time with it. And when I first looked at the list, I was actually, believe it or not, I was actually at the record store. But I was on my lunch break at work, and I was picking up a record for my daughter's birthday, who was yesterday. She turned 16. My middle daughter, my youngest stepdaughter. Anyway, I was picking up a record for her, and I heard them talking about it at the record store. The list had just come out like 5 minutes ago. And so I kind of looked at it while I was on my way back to work, in between stoplights and stop signs and all that stuff. And then when I got back to work, when I caught a break, I would look at it. So I didn't really get a chance to look at it until later on that night, and then today. And so finally got to really look at it and make some notes and go through it with a fine-tooth comb a little bit. And like I said, I got some trusty notes here about what really caught my attention, and I'm sure as I go through the rest of the month and the coming months before Record Store Day, other things will grab my attention more, and I'll lose interest in some things or gain more interest in other things. But this is what's really got my attention right now. These are my for sure wants and maybes as of right now. And as I always say in most of my videos, especially about Record Store Day, a lot of this always depends on the prices. So when I get there and I see a record that I think is worth $20 to $30 and they have it priced at $50 to $60 instead, I'm probably going to pass on it. That's what happened with me in the Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga record that was priced over $50 that I thought should have been at like $30. So anyway, a lot is going to depend on the pricing. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm just going to go through. I got 3 pages of notes here. And so let's hit it. Like I said, the first few are the for sure's that I know I'm definitely going to get. I'm very excited about. And number 1 on that list is Van Halen, live right here, right now. And the reason that's number 1 on the list is, 1, I'm a huge Van Hagar fan. I think Sammy brought so much to the band after David Lee Roth left. And I love his voice. I love Sammy Hagar as a solo artist. Montrose, all that stuff. And so for them to finally have an official release of this album, there was an unofficial release that came out years ago, I think maybe last year, the year before, and I've seen prices on that go from like $75 to $100+ or more. But to have an official release, and this is, first off, it's the 30th anniversary. It's a 4 LP set. It's a Record Store Day exclusive. And as you know, an exclusive means only available on Record Store Day. There won't be any issue coming down the road. And 7,500 copies, which seems like a lot, but you know what? For something like this that's never been released before, first time ever, I could see that going like that. And if you didn't get one, you're going to pay upwards for the flippers, because they're going to be out there like always. But I'm excited about this record. It's the 30th anniversary of this album. I have the CD. This was a great live set. I believe it was recorded over 2 days. This was for the Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour, which that album. There's been rumors going around that the Van Hagar stuff is going to get released on vinyl again, that they're going to reissue those records, because that record, the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, I can very mouthful to say, and I don't want to say what people call it. That record, trying to find an actual official pressing of that, when you do, they're upwards of $300+ or more. So, I'm hoping that this is showing that they are going to do, reissues of those Van Hagar records. But this was on that For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour. This is going to have 3 bonus tracks, actually. That came on the DVD, I believe they said. The Dream is Over, Eagles Fly, which I love that, and Mine All Mine. If you haven't heard this album, this live set, this live concert, go stream it now. If you are a Van Halen fan, if you are a Van Hagar fan, you are going to love it. I'm so excited about this. Big thanks for it. It is a 4 LP set, so I know it's going to be kind of expensive. I'm hoping it does not break the $100. I'm hoping it's between the $60 and $80. If it's lower, that'd be even better, but I doubt it. Anyway, that's number 1 on my list. Very excited about that one. Next, Jerry Garcia Band. There's always Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia releases on Record Store Day. This one I'm excited about. I love the Jerry Garcia Band. This is How Sweet It Is. Last year they did the Jerry Garcia Acoustic Band, which is a bluegrass record. This one is the Jerry Garcia Band. It's a 2 LP set. It's an RSD first, so it should be released later. 7,500 copies. It's from live shows from 1990 in San Francisco. So I got that 5 LP set. It came out the year before last in December. That was originally supposed to be a Record Store Day. It was the full concert from, I forgot where it was. And that was a great set. This is not from those shows, but from what I was reading about it, should be great. Like I said, I love the Jerry Garcia Band. I just love Jerry Garcia, so I'm very excited about this one. We'll definitely pick that one up. These ones are normally priced pretty well, around the $28 to $30 mark probably, so I'm very excited about this one. Well, I say 28 to 30, it's probably going to be $28 to $35 range, but very excited about that one. Huge Garcia fan. So next, this one, another big one that I'm really excited about, Billy Joel. I'm a huge Billy Joel fan. So this one really caught my eye. Billy Joel live at the Great American Music Hall in 1975. Early Billy Joel, which I think is awesome. It's a 2 LP set. It's a Record Store Day exclusive, so again, will not be reissued later. Only 6,700 copies. I think that'll go quick too. I think that'll be another one that will fly off the shelves because Billy Joel, very popular. Live records are very popular on RSD, I've noticed, and so I think this one will be one that goes pretty quick. Again, I'm a huge Billy Joel fan. Grew up loving Billy Joel because of my parents. So this is a live show from the Streetlight Serenade Tour, which is, by the way, a very underrated Billy Joel album. So if you haven't listened to that record, go out of your way to listen to it. But it's from that tour. So like I said, early Billy Joel stuff, which I love early Billy Joel, but I just love all of Billy Joel. It's going to be on oblique gray vinyl. Kind of cool. Mixed and mastered from the original multi-track tapes. Interesting. So sound quality should be pretty good, I think, on that. It's on the Columbia label. I remember that as well. So yeah, very excited about those 3. Those are probably my top 3 that I'm for sure going to get, no matter what the pricing is, I would say. No matter what the pricing is, I'm getting these 3 for sure. That I know. So yeah, very excited. Very, very excited. Now, the next ones are all going to, like I said, really depend on pricing and how I feel that day, probably. Except for the last one I'm going to talk about, which I'll save that for last. This one here, like I said, pricing is going to be is going to be the key factor on this one. But Bill Evans, as you guys know, I got really into jazz last year. And Bill Evans was one of the artists that I really got into. And this one is called Treasures, Solo, Trio, and Orchestra in Denmark from 1965 to 1967. This is a 3 LP, so that's one of the reasons why I know the pricing is going to be a little bit high. It's on the Anagram label, which I don't know a whole lot about. Normally the Bill Evans RSD are normally audiophile type pressings, so I would expect that with this as well. It's an RSD exclusive, which is always the case for Bill Evans as well. 4,000 copies, not very many. Jazz is always big on RSD, so you can always expect the jazz titles to go like that. Let's see. This is never before released stuff. It's stuff from Danish TV and radio studio recordings. So this is stuff that's never, been released before. Just stuff that you would have heard back then in the 60s on the radio or seen on TV. So, should be interesting. I mean, Bill Evans, obviously one of the all-time greats when it comes to jazz piano. I'm a huge fan. Depending on the pricing on this and how I feel about the other stuff that I'm looking at when I'm there. This one I'm just going to mention, but I already know I'm not going to get it, but I'm going to mention it because there always is this. But I'm not going to mention it, but I'm not going to get it because I know the price is going to be ridiculous, and I've kind of gotten to the point where when it comes to live box sets of full concerts, I don't buy them because I don't really listen to them that much. It's a lot of work to listen to 5 LPs back to back to back. It just is. But the Grateful Dead, they always release something on RSD, and lately it's been a full length concert, which is normally 5 LP, which is awesome, but I miss the days of the 2 LP Grateful Dead RSD release. It was cheaper, and I felt like it was worth the time more. These box sets, I'm just kind of done with them, and so I'm not going to get it. But if you're interested, it's from the Boston Garden. It's at Boston Garden. Like I said, it's an RSD exclusive, obviously 9,000 copies. May 7th, 1977. I'm sure it's amazing. It's the Dead. Any live Dead albums are great. So this one, I'm putting it on the list because depending on if it's even available is going to be the thing here, because this one is very limited. It's an RSD limited. It's to 1,000 copies, and it's regional, so you may not see it in your region. It may not even be here in North Carolina. Certain stores may not get it, may not be eligible to get it. So I don't know. But it's Macho Man, Be a Man. This one, like I said, it's 1,000 copies. It's RSD limited. It's regional. It's on purple vinyl, and it's a rap album. And it's Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah. I'm a huge wrestling fan. Grew up a wrestling fan. Macho Man was one of my faves, of course, because I grew up at that time. This would just be a record to have for what it is, which, would I listen to it? Probably once, and then I would just keep it probably as a display because it's cool. But with everything else I got on the list, to spend the money on it, I don't know what the price would be. But this would also be something that, like I said, you'd be lucky to find it probably. So the next one is one that I may wait on because I know that it's going to get repressed later. This one got pushed back from last year's Record Store Day and last year's Black Friday. But it's Mr. Big, their self-titled album, their first album. Like I said, it's an RSD first. Only 2,500 copies, which I thought was weird because last year or 2 years ago, their Lean Into It record, which was on red vinyl, this is on blue. They made a lot more copies of it, and it's still readily available. I want to say Lunchbox here in Charlotte still has a lot of copies of it. I have a copy of it. The sound is good, except for I thought the sound was kind of low. You have to kind of turn it up a little bit. But the quality of the sound is good. It's not like, it doesn't sound like it's balanced and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's Mr. Big. I'm a huge Mr. Big fan. Just a great band, I think. So that one, depending on the price and depending on how I feel about, again, more stuff that's coming down. This one, I'm really on the fence about, but I figured I'd mention it. Soul Asylum, MTV Unplugged. Soul Asylum was really big in the late 80s and the early 90s, and this MTV Unplugged was one of the reasons why. It's a 2 LP set. It's an RSD exclusive. Only 3,050 copies, which is a weird number, I know, but not very many. Like I said, it's an MTV. It's from the original master, which is interesting. First time ever. It's a full 16 tracks. So if you watch the MTV, show, you didn't see all 16 tracks. So this is the full set that you did not see on MTV. So thought that was kind of cool, at least. But yeah, so MTV. This one I'm actually pretty interested in, but again, it's all about the pricing and how much have I already spent on all the other stuff if I get. But Muddy Waters, live at the Hollywood the Hollywood Blues Summit in 1971. Muddy Waters, is amazing. One of the all-time great blues guitarists. And I don't have a whole lot of Muddy Waters. And this is going to be an RSD first, it says, only 3,000 copies. But this is never before released set with, and this is what I think is cool, with Freddie King and Lightning Hopkins. And I looked at the set list, got a great set list. And so I don't know what the sound quality is going to be because it doesn't really say what it's from, so it could be bootleg sounding, which it always worries me. I'm hoping that's not the case. But I mean, it's, even if it's bootleg sounding, I mean, it's Muddy Waters, it's blues. Old blues recordings sound terrible anyway. So it might be worth it anyway. Like I said, pricing, I don't know. But I do need more blues in my collection, and what better way to start than Muddy Waters. Also Pearl Jam. Obviously, I figured I had to talk about this one, even though I'm probably not going to get it, and I know everyone's probably going, "Why aren't you going to get it?" Well, I'm not the biggest Pearl Jam fan in the world. My wife, however, is. I have this one from last year. This is the live one from last year. The one that's coming out this year called Give Way. It's live from Melbourne, Australia, in 1998 from the Yield tour. It was supposed to come out in 1998. Some CDs were released, but they stopped it, so it's very hard to find any of those CDs that did actually get released. So it's actually being released on vinyl and on CD on Record Store Day, which I thought was interesting. I can't remember how many copies there were going to be of it, but I guarantee you that this is going to be one of those ones where you're going to see it fly off the shelves quick. But I did a little bit of checking on the set list. I wasn't all that impressed. For me, I'm like a first 2, maybe 3 albums for Pearl Jam, and then I'm kind of out. Like I said, my wife's a bigger Pearl Jam fan than I am. I'm happy with what I already have. I bought this mainly because of her. It's not bad. I'm not upset with it, but so we'll see. I doubt I'm going to get it. I don't know. But all right, last record I'm going to talk about real quick, which is going to be the biggest record of Record Store Day because it's Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift rules music. She rules the record business right now. What else is there to say? But it's Taylor Swift, Folklore, Long Pond Sessions. So I don't know a lot, but this is what I know. It's a 2 LP RSD exclusive. No idea the amount. So I'm hoping, because of what happened last year with the 7-inch singles, And the debacle that was, some stores got like 2, and they didn't even sell them. They like raffled them off, so people, may not have gotten one. Luckily enough, where I went, I was able to get 2, one for each daughter. Thank goodness. But, I'm hoping they do more than 10,000, because I want to say that's how many they did last year for that. I'm hoping they do so many more, because this is going to be in such high demand. And I still remember seeing a kid almost in tears at the record store last year when he asked if they had any of the Taylor Swift 7 inches, and they told him no. I mean, seriously, I was like, oh my gosh, but it is what it is. Obviously, I'm not getting this for me. I'm getting this for my daughters. They're Swifties, and I get it. Hopefully, we don't have a Ticketmaster debacle. So I'm hoping. I know that I'm going to get it, mainly because I know that I'm going to be there early enough to be in line to get it, as long as there's enough copies and they don't have to do the whole raffle thing that some stores had to do. But anyway, like I said, so no idea the amount. It's going to be on gray vinyl. It's the first time ever on vinyl. It's sessions from September 20th, they recorded live. So apparently when Folklore was recorded during COVID, I guess, each artist that recorded on the album, they didn't record it together. It was all, this is them. They actually came together and they recorded it live together. So that's kind of cool. My middle daughter, whose birthday was yesterday, she found out about this because I told my wife and she told her. She's very excited about this. I know she is. So I want to be able to get that for her, of course. And so that's my plan. So I am going to get this record, not for myself, but for her. So there you have it. Bratz Record Store Day 2023 so far. That's my plan. I will do Record Store Day as I always do. I will be in Wilmington, North Carolina at the Record Bar with my friends out there. I would encourage you, if you are planning on going out to the record store, to make sure you're out there early enough. I'm going to be out there at my record store with my friends plenty early. Going to see my buddies Chad Hovis, Jerry Stone, Melissa O'Buck. Plan on seeing you there. Like always, it's going to be a blast. A lot of hanging out, just chatting up, telling funny stories, laughing, carrying on. I'm super excited about it. This is always one of my favorite times of the year, to spend time and just talk about music, the love of music, and honestly, not even just music, just to be around friends. So, but tell me what you guys are excited about. What are you looking forward to on this list? It's a good list this year. At first, I'll be honest with you, when I first saw the list, I thought, man, this list sucks. But again, I was looking at it like quick. But as I went through it more, I went, oh, wow, you know what? There's a lot more on the list. And there's still some other things on the list that I was like, you know what? It's not bad. But then I was like, no, I gotta narrow this thing down, because Record Store Day can be expensive. So that's another thing that I would say. When putting together a list for a record store, make sure that you're getting things, that you're putting it into perspective of things that you know that you're going to listen to. Don't just buy it because you think it's going to be something big that people are going to want. I buy records to listen to records, not because I think it's a cool record to have or a cool record to look at. I know I mentioned the Macho Man thing, and that's one of the reasons why I may not even buy it if it's available. But I'm putting together a list of records that I'm going to listen to. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. Plus, I'm on a budget. So I'm putting together a budget list of records. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about me. That sounds weird, I know. But let your friends know about Record Store Day. Let them know about the music that you love. And leave a comment down below, please. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of the list. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace and love.